blessing I have had to be part of that. I have one mom here, Vanessa, who has a three-peat daughter. Vanessa, would you stand up for a second, please? You're all right. We're all family. We're all family. I've asked Vanessa, she's been a mom of a camper for 3 years now, and so can you validate what I just said?
Oh, it's all true. And her goal is to one day help you as a junior camp counselor. That's her goal. To one day do that. She has enjoyed it, and we've enjoyed it.
Have you ever had omelets made by her hands?
Not yet, but she tells me if I'm doing something wrong. Well, that's She knows how to make her bed. She knows how to bring me her laundry. But
There you go. Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for entrusting her for all of these years. It's been,
thanks to y'all.
It has definitely been an experience. And so when I talk about that impact, when I was a little girl, my nanny, my grandmother, I used to tell a story and I would always say my nanny, and I never identified that she was my grandmother. And I did this with my students in school one day, and they thought I had a nanny, like my nanny. One of my students asked me, well, how long did you have your nanny? I was like, all my life. Anyway, so now I'm trying to make sure I identify what that really means. So my nanny was from southern soil. She was from the east coast of Virginia, and I was very much a part of her life growing up, and taught me how to hold my fork and my knife properly, and how to set the table, and how to make hospital corners when I made the bed, and sit up straight. All of the things that we teach here, how to make pound cake. And when you went to someone's home, you took them a baked item, and then after you'd gone to their house for dinner and you went home, you'd write them a thank you note, and you'd actually put a stamp on it and put it in the mail. I hope you all got letters. If you did not, you need to find out if they wrote them, which I think they all did, because we did have a group of letters one time go to someone else's family, for real. We were very grateful that mom brought those letters back and said, I don't think these belong to me. So anyway, on occasion that will happen. But my nanny imparted all these skills onto me when I was a little girl. And so that is the roots of where this camp began. This was a vision. This was something that came through in my mind that I decided that I wanted to do with some family members. The girls will give you that story later. There's lots of stories that we've told this week that you'll get to hear about in the next few days. But eventually, after having that vision and praying about it, and they'll explain to you what I mean when I say literally for 9 months praying around this house and envisioning what would go on in that room and what would go on in that room. That was before I even had a contract on it, that I was praying about it and for it. Well, God's blessed us in order for this to happen. And then I've turned as these girls come back, like Kendall and Caitlin and other girls who've been CITs, as they come back and give, I'm beginning to throw out to parents, how do you want to be a part of this mission? How do you want to be a part of this vision? We're in the process of forming our 501c3 in order to have nonprofit status, because it absolutely pains me to have little girls look at me in the eyes, I'm looking down at them, and say, I really want to come to your camp, but my mom and daddy just can't afford it. Or, our car's broken down and so we can't. Or we've made decisions to do other things, or something, but it's a financial issue. I'm here to tell you that this summer, we have given 7.5 scholarships. About half of those were funded. The other half were on me. You do the math, okay? And that's because, how can you leave one out? When you've got an actual spot, how can you leave one out? And so we've done this a little bit before, but this year we've really kind of kicked it up. We have all kinds of projects, things that the girls are going to take home. They're going to take home 10 things that they've either made or been given while they were here. But we have extras. Every year with every session we have extras. And so that's what that table is out front, our registration table. Please sign the book that's out there. I used to sell our baked items or our hot sauce or whatever it is that we were making at the time, and then I changed my mind this year. No, I'm not going to. This is for donation only. So there's a jar out there that you can put however much money you feel led to do and take something off that table as my thank you for your donation. So, which also brings me to This is the first parent group that I've actually talked about this with. But I plan to have a real fundraiser in the fall, probably about mid-October, where we will have in this house a dinner. There'll be tables and chairs in every room. Might even have them upstairs, just depending on what kind of... I know downstairs for sure, just between those two rooms, I can seat 40. So I would love to have a list of 100 people that need to come. And so as a part of that, I'm going to be calling on these girls because we're going to need help making it happen. And I'm going to be calling on you as parents because I'm going to need you to be like Vanessa and tell about what the impact was in your family and on your daughter. And so I just want to let you know that that's up and coming. So when you get that email, you won't think that it's spam or something like that. It's very, very important. What else do I need to tell you about before I go any further? I think I have hit it. Surveys, thank you very, very much. Thank you. If it weren't for Amy, I don't know that I would do a lot of the things that I do. So she keeps me on my toes. So which brings me to a couple of things. Every year at the end of every session, we give the girls confidential surveys. I tell them I want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything about their accommodations, their food, staff, their swimming experience, what was your favorite, what was your least favorite, and I really want to know. Well, I want to know the same thing from you. And who was it? I don't know who it was, but asked something about, well, can we write with the bad stuff? I don't know if you use the word bad. Somebody said something, can I write the bad stuff? I said, yes, I want to know it all. Because that's what makes us better. Every single year when I get my stack of surveys from my girls, it helps me plan for the following year. I've eliminated people in our world because it just wasn't a good fit. And so I ultimately want the best for your girls at all times. So I'm going to ask you to do the same. And I have a survey, if you will take one, and then just pass down one per family for parents. And I'm just going to call it smack straight out. I have had 3 sessions this summer, and I have given every single parent of every single session a survey like you're receiving. I've gotten 2 back. That's not helping me much. It helps me with one particular thing with a kind of our curriculum kind of stuff. But I really, really want to know. And what I say on these surveys is don't fill them out today. Because when you get in the car, these girls are going to be, and it's all going to be good stuff, good stuff. So I want them, give them a chance to download. Some of the questions are from you directly, and some of the questions you very well may hear from them that you would know. So, girls, I put it on you. Can I get a pinky? Everybody, please. Pinky swear, promise. Connect your own self all the way down, please. And me on here, Monday. You're not starting school on Monday, are you? No, Monday. You need to say, Mama, where's your survey? I'm going to put it in the mailbox. Stand over her. Make her do it. You got it? All right. Love that. Passing the buck a little bit. The last thing that I want to talk about before we have the opportunity to sit back and enjoy what these girls have in store for us is that I want you to know what Allendale really is. You know that it's a camp. You know that it's a cool place at the end of a dead-end street in front of a hayfield that happens to be a Martindale icon from Highway 80. Place for girls to come and learn about manners and how to hold their fork right. But Allendale is not just that. Allendale is a broad spectrum. I'm an etiquette consultant, and so I teach etiquette classes. This year we're launching a new class. It's called Just Add Manners. And so these are brochures that I have for each of you. How many do you have here? 14. You have 14? Okay, so I can one good. If one family also will take one. Inside of that is going to tell you a little bit more, because certainly I teach more on a class level than I do here at camp. But the class that we're putting together is a 5-week, 1 hour a week for 5 weeks. And the final week happens to be a fine dining tutorial. So these girls in particular, it'll be at a restaurant. It won't be here. I'm looking for, specifically in the San Marcos area, I'm looking for a place to have this class. Preferably in a retail. Love to have one at the outlet mall in one of the stores. The class size is between 10 and 15. This is boys and girls. This is not just girls. So boys and girls, the idea is to, for it only being an hour, you would come to whatever store it is, your child would go in the back and receive their lesson while you shop, you know. And so that's the idea with that. And so we're going to be launching that in September, and if you have any insight or connections to someone in a retail facility, please let me know. Send me an email in order to let me know.
There's one that's in Martindale,
Okay. And so let me know. And then talk it up with your friends, because I may be calling you and say, hey, you know what, and really and truly, in order to make this whole thing happen, I might even say, you know what, I'm going to give you some to get some back, bring that child. There is a fee included for it. It's minimal in the sense of what you're receiving. And so I just want to let you know that that is something else that we do. So I teach little girls, teenagers, young professionals, and also seasoned professionals. So we go into companies and do etiquette training and dining tutorials in that realm as well. Allendale is also a bed and breakfast. Did you know that? So, matter of fact, we've got some guests coming in a couple of weeks. So I've had groups that are ladies, women's, ladies retreats, things like that. So I've had families who have come to somebody else's family or just to one of their family members for a holiday, and they all come and 15 or 20 of them stay here all together. So this is a place that you can rent and use to accommodate a large group. And then the last thing that I want to tell you about what we do, and I've told a couple of your daughters, and so I hope you're not going to be upset with me, but they're going to want to have their birthday parties here. Just saying, they're going to want to have their birthday parties here. How cool is that to have a sleepover of 15 girls and you get to sleep downstairs and they're upstairs? And I can be as much of a part of it as you want, or I can be completely hands off. So we will figure that out for you.